Annyeonghaseyo. Also from my side, I'm Thomas BIel. I'm part of the coordination team of the Clean Energy Transition Partnership, and within that responsible for the transition initiative number 7, which deals with the clean energy integration in the built environment. And I would shortly explain to you what we are looking for in the call 2025, and especially in the call module number 9, which is the one from TRI7. The next slide, please. That's fully fine. So thanks to my previous speakers, I don't have to say much about European partnerships at all, or also where the Clean Energy Transition Partnership is situated, which you can find on the next slide, please. We are part of the cluster 5 within the pillar 2, but this was already mentioned in previous talks today. So we can go to the next slide, please. So CETP partnership overall is a transnational research and innovation partnership, which focuses on the clean energy transition, which is also part of its name. So it's about transnational projects that support the development and the implementation of clean energy solutions. It is co-financed by the European Commission, which was also already explained today, and there are more than 30 countries involved so far. But this is always changing a bit. Sometimes the funding agency, respectively a country, steps in, and sometimes another one gets out. The next slide, please. So what is happening within CETP? So it has coordinated more than 40 national and regional programs from over 30 parties to get together within that partnership to work on the clean energy transition. It started not that long ago with a joint call in 2022. And so far, we are supporting more than 100 projects. And within CETP, there are also structures already developed, such as the knowledge community, and which helps you on finding other people and connect to others, and also connect you with relevant institutions for an impact maximization or also stakeholder collaboration. And it's overall bridging the gaps between research, innovation, and the market uptake. The next slide, please. So here you can see the status quo of which countries are involved. So keep in mind, there is a slight difference between European member countries and non-European countries, which is relevant if you want to apply, or if you have a proposal and want to apply during the call 2025. The next slide, please. So the Clean Energy Transition Partnership is thematically divided in so-called transition initiatives, and we are having 7 out of it. The next slide, please. As you can see, it's quite diverse in topics. Overall, you can see that there are some TRIs dealing with technology developments, and some TRIs with the system integration. And TRI7 is also part of the system integration group. I've just marked it in red, so we are up there on the right, the integration in the built environment. The next slide, please. As you can see, is it coming up again? So TRI7 is in a quite complex environment. So there is DUT on one side, there are also other, there it's coming. And then there are also other initiatives and working groups and so on already within the European research field. So it's quite complex, and we're actually working close together with DUT for example, and IWG5. The next slide, please. Within CETP, our focus is really on the integration into buildings. So this is really the major part of our TRI, because on one hand side, we have the technology-oriented TRIs. So for example, if you want to work or develop a single technology, then it might be something which fits into TRI2, which deals with or which has photovoltaics as a topic, for example. Or if it's more about heating and cooling, then it would be TRI4. Then TRI7 is more or less in the middle, the integration into buildings and the built environment. And then on the other side, we have aerial concepts, which are dealt with within TRI5, or as you can also see in the graphics, DUT, for example. The next slide, please. So within TRI7, we defined the 3 challenges which you can see over there. So at first, or the first goal or the first challenge would be to transform the building to an active part within the energy system by integrating energy production, storage, and energy management technologies. As you all know, so the whole building sector is one of the biggest consumers, and most of the built environment is still passive within the energy field. So the challenge 2, which we defined, deals with the digitalization of the whole life cycle of a building, which would help in different ways. And overall, it's also mostly an energy efficiency and a resource efficiency aspect behind that idea. And then, which is quite new, we have a new challenge, the challenge 3, which deals with concepts and technologies for the renovation of the existing built environment to enhance energy efficiency and lower the energy demand. This actually came up of discussions within funding agencies, that they said we cannot only talk about what's going to be built, but we also have to work on ideas on how to refurbish and renovate the existing built environment. So we've also included that within TRI7. The next slide, please. So what has happened so far? The TRI7, or let's say the community, is not really having a past, or at least not a past within Europe, in old ERA-nets, for example. ERA-nets have been programs also funded by the European Commission, and this overall regime got more or less closed, and CET partnership is one successor out of it. So we started in the joint call 2022, and we only received 10 free proposals, and then in the end got 3 projects funded. And then it increased over the time, which is a success. So it's already known, let's say. The community is still finding itself. What we can see is that most proposals are coming out of the, let's say, energy community. And what we are lacking, and I would love to see more, is an involvement of the construction community. But as it is a quite conservative business, it's not that easy to get them in. So last year we had actually 33 free proposals, but then only 4 projects got funded. Out of that 4, 1 project is having the Korean partner, which you got to know just in the presentation before. But what happened that only 4 got funded is, unfortunately, we had to deal with a lot of ineligibilities and also with budget constraints, but I will comment that a bit later. Then the rest, you've also already seen the important dates or deadlines for the joint call 2025. So if you're interested to submit a proposal, you still have time until the 9th of October, and then it goes on. The next slide, please. So what are we as TRI7 looking for overall? So at first, interesting proposals. This is what we all want to see. And I think that's also what addresses you or most of the audience in Korea right now. Then what we are also always looking for are experts in that field which are able and willing to evaluate the proposals we are getting. And then I don't know if there may be some people from New Zealand watching right now via the YouTube channel. CETP overall is also always looking for new partners interested in the clean energy integration and who wants to join CETP overall or also the TRI7 specifically. That's actually what South Korea did last year. We've been lucky to integrate Kaya just in time for the call 2024. But as it was maybe still a bit short and hectic last summer, we hope to get better results also for Korean participants within this call. The next slide, please. Here you can see requirements for the call 2025. And this is actually a really important slide. And you can find it also in the call text 2025. These are really points you need to respect and you need to have in mind when applying for the CETP Joint Call 2025. So it's not only about guidelines, but it's also about how a consortium must look like. So how many partners from how many different countries and so on. Because unfortunately, what we still see are a lot of mistakes which could be avoided easily. But as I guess that the presentation will also be shared, I'm not reading through everything. So the next slide, please. Because here I just wanted to say what is really important. So on the previous slide, there have been the overall requirements from the CETP call at all. We, as TRI7 with the call module 9, we don't have that many more requirements. It's only that we are focusing for higher TRL projects because we say the basic research, so the technology development, can be done in other TRIs, and we are really more focusing on the integration aspect. And as soon as you go with your already developed technology into the building, you are not at low technology readiness levels anymore. So please respect that because there are still, or we still see proposals, not only we within TRI7, which don't respect the requested TRI levels. And that's actually also a possibility that a proposal is getting deemed ineligible. Then, if you might be the coordinator, then please look into all national requirements of your partners within your consortium. Within the call text and also on the homepage of CETP, you can find all documents necessary. So each funding agency involved is having mostly a 2 or even 3 page. If you are choosing your consortium or maybe being part of consortium, please also look that that nobody out of the consortium is applying for 100% of the available budget from one single funding agency. Actually, we also still see, let's say, a bigger consortium, 2 partners or 3 partners out of the same country, which is a smaller one, and then they are applying for 100% of the funding agency's budget. The chances are rather low that the funding agency will push all their money into one direction. It's just or the risk is just too high for them. So this is really something I would never suggest to any applicant, but we still see that. And also try to split responsibilities if you set up the work packages, because it might always happen that one partner might get ineligible for what reason ever. And it is hard if that partner is really crucial, and then the whole proposal won't work anymore. And it's also always good to not start only with 3 countries, but maybe with 4 countries involved. So if really one side or one country falls out, that the project or the proposal has still a chance to get running. And overall, what I not mentioned so far, please always talk with the funding agencies involved. It's also still happening when I see that a funding agency said something on ineligible, then I'm making a phone call, talking to them and asking them, why did you do that? And have you been in touch with them before? And then I still hear, no, it's the first time that we are seeing that proposal and we haven't heard anything. So the easiest way to avoid any problems is always talk with the funding agencies involved. If they're really looking forward to that project, and if that project is still in the focus of the funding agency, respectively of the country. Because actually, it might change. We cannot avoid that there are sometimes political changes, and then there might already be a difference between what is written in the core text, which was set up, let's say, in spring of the year, and then what the funding agency might decide after the pre-proposal phase or the full proposal phase. It's not nice, but unfortunately we cannot avoid that. So please talk to your funding agencies. That's actually the most important thing. The next slide, please. Then, if you're looking for partners, so via this QR code, you're getting to the B2Match platform, which was also already mentioned before in the presentation. Then you can find single persons, institutions, and sometimes even already persons which uploaded a project idea, or which are also, or who are also looking for partners for handing in a proposal. So it's really an easy way to get in touch with researchers out of your field of work within Europe and beyond. On the other hand, I would encourage you use your personal networks. I don't know if some of you might be involved in some TCPs from the IEA, and especially the IEA EBC might be a way to get in touch with others and to set up a consortium. So actually with that, we are having good experience, as we at the NetAG in Switzerland also chaired for a long time the PVPS program from the IEA. And I just got in touch with the EBC program from the IEA. And actually with that, I'm already coming to an end of my presentation, but I'm available for questions later on. Thank you.